it is indeed a pleasure to be interacting with you all today. However, I really wish I could be there in person. But this is the sign of times, and we must adapt and change our behaviors to embrace the new world that is about to change the very way of life that we imagined it to be. One of the most fundamental aspects of life that will change is work. Recently, in my work as a founder of an edtech company, I met a bunch of college students, and they told me a really interesting insight. They said, sir, from childhood, our parents told us, work hard, pray hard, be sincere, limit the fun you have, focus on your studies. Our grandmothers told us, go pray to God every week, and you will get a good career. So the equation that was built in all our minds, that equation that society has built in all our minds is, go to school, work hard, get good marks, pray to God, and all will work out. So this group of students that I was talking to said, sir, we did everything. And despite doing all of it, we all have great marks, we all have great degrees, we all have done everything that was required to be done that would label being a good student, a good son or daughter, but yet we don't have jobs. And if we got some jobs, they are far lower in salary or in the kind of job than what is expected or deserving of someone who has worked hard in their life. What's the point then? That got me thinking. That fact of the matter is that COVID and just the way in general the world is progressing has really, or is rather about to, disrupt our very idea and our very equation about what careers means. I'm not here to tell you that technology is going to be the future of work. I'm not here to tell you that focus on learning those skills that are going to be relevant in the next 5 years. Because the point is that your career is not about the next 5 years. It is about the next 30 years. I'm going to talk to you about today the shifts that I think are going to impact the future of work and your very career. The first and the most important shift is that your degrees and your marks won't matter. I'll tell you why. If you think about it, the shape of a classroom or the construct or the design of a classroom resembles much like a factory floor. So post-industrial revolution, businesses needed a workforce that would fulfill its agenda, whether it's to be a manager, whether it's to be a manufacturing, whether it's to be in sales. So what schools and colleges were designed to do was literally produce humans and shape them and enhance their capability to serve the needs of the industry. At that time, the industry was not as competitive, as it was not so innovation driven, it was not so technology driven. Business was not so complex as it is now. So the entire education system and the system that validated what a good student meant, which is exams or degrees, it was meant to serve the agenda and the needs of the post-industrial era. But what's happened now is, let's take for example in India, every year more than 3 million, and this is just a small estimate, more than 3 million people graduate with the same degree, with the same marks. Now employers say, okay, so what's the value of that degree? Because in a time when the degree mattered, education was not something that everybody could pursue or wanted to pursue. So a degree meant that, okay, this boy or girl has gone to a good college or has gone to a college and they have studied, and they've studied the knowledge that is needed for them to be able to perform and excel in that world of work. But now employers are saying that, yeah, now degree is like literally having a birth certificate that certifies you are born, and a degree is certifying that you have studied. But it speaks nothing about the ability of the person to fulfill the needs of the new world of work. So the first change and the first truth that you need to accept is you cannot think and be confident in the fact that I've gone to a school or a good school, I have a degree from a college or a good college, and that's going to sort me out. No, degrees, I repeat, are just now a document like an Aadhaar card or birth certificate that you need to give wherever you apply for something. The second shift, which is obviously all of these are connected, is now our education system is actually producing robots, because our education system says that, mug up, get the marks, and you are fit for the workforce. So literally your mind is being programmed, right? But now an interesting thing is happening. Actual machines and robots are taking over jobs that humans used to do. So in the next 5 years, you may not be needing engineers. You may not be needing lawyers who are just supposed to sit and draft notices or documents, because that's something machines will do. You may not need accountants, because machine is going to do the accounting process. So now robots are soon going to take over all the manual tasks. So therefore, the third shift is only those jobs will remain, and only those people will be selected who have the ability to apply their own creative intelligence to do things that robots cannot. Because what can robots do? Robots can do things they are programmed for. Much like our education system that programs us to do and think in a certain way. But the moment we get a situation or a scenario that we have not been taught about, we start becoming nervous. Now in this new world of work, every situation will be new. Every challenge will be unique. So you can't go refer to a book or the programming that the education system has given you, because whatever you've been taught is not what is going to be applied or what's going to happen. So robots will take away jobs that are manual, leaving only those jobs for those people where creative thinking, innovation, and the use of human intelligence and the use of human emotions is required. Robots will also soon catch up to that, but you still have about 20 years away, I think. Now, what does this mean, right? So, for example, we spoke about law. It will not be how much of the law you know. It will be about, do you as a lawyer, can you now cross-link things like technology, data, and a new kind of new business model, say for corporate law? Can you work all of these together to think of a very interesting way to present an argument for your client? To say, if you're a lawyer for a completely new age company which is operating, say, in the space of artificial intelligence for which no law has been created, and now you are supposed to represent that company. There is no case in the history of Indian law. There is no law written about AI, but you have to go and represent that company for some case. What does that mean? You have to now think on your own. Think beyond what you've taught, what you've been taught. So the important thing becomes, how are you enhancing your creative intelligence, your emotional intelligence, to be able to compute, respond to, and succeed in challenges and opportunities and scenarios that you have no training for. I'll give you another example. Let's look at COVID. What are the reasons why I think that not just India, but globally, we've not been able to respond well to the pandemic? Is not because we are incapable. Is not because we were lazy. I refuse to believe that. It's because we were not taught what to do. No state government official, no hospital official had got training or education in what to do when a little micro virus is going to hold the entire world by its collar. Nobody knows what to do. So we were taken by surprise. This is another example of why, if we had, instead of just focusing on collecting degrees and training on just manual and mechanical things, if we had focused on preparing our mind on, okay, how do we challenge, how do we accept a challenge or deal with a challenge that something like COVID, if we were trained to use our mind and use our intelligence more than just following a rule book, perhaps we would have better responded to the COVID pandemic. Our machinery would have better responded to the COVID pandemic. So it's this, and this is very important. This is the most important disruption, because often, I come back to my first thing. Your parents will tell you, beta, be a good student. Your teacher will say, score well in geography, history, and math, and nothing's going to stop you. Those equations don't fall true anymore. I know a school has invited me to talk to you, but I want to tell you the truth. Even schools need to they need to bring about a mindset shift that, child, your intelligence, your creativity, your ability to deal with the unknown is far more important, is far more valuable than just the marks you are going to get. Linked to this, the fourth change that is going to disrupt in the world of work is the fact that not everybody is going to get a job. Not everybody is going to be able to build a career on what they want. Because fact of the matter is, we are 1.2 billion people. Machines are taking up so many jobs. So it is not like every human is going to have a job. It's not possible. Mathematically, it's not possible. So it's really important for you to adapt. Now, I don't know what that means, because it is different for each one of you and your dreams. But you need to be aware of this truth, that academic success, academic brilliance does not equal to getting the opportunity that you want, which means you have to be willing to adapt. For example, say you are wanting to study engineering, and all your life you want to become an engineer. You got a degree in engineering, but maybe there are not enough engineers that are required. That means that now you will have to you'll have to rely on your innate intelligence to pick a career path where there is a need, where there is opportunity. So you cannot no longer be stuck with, oh, I am preparing for this and this is all that I want to be because I am going to be good at it. That is not going to work. And you need to therefore be willing to adapt to these changes that are disrupting your very idea of what career means. Now, these are all not meant to scare you. These things are not meant to scare you. But now you need to connect the dots yourselves and question, what does career mean? Does career mean just a medium to make money? Does career mean a status that is going to give you the best bride or groom, like in the popular show right now, Indian Matchmaking, where what your degree and where your college is part of your eligibility to get a good marriage, to get a good partner? Or is your career about your life's purpose? So recently we were talking to some learners that we are skilling, and they shared with me that, what we realized is all our lives we were programmed to think that, study so that we can get this job, and obviously we're not getting it. Then why not make a career out of doing something that we really like? So even if we earn less money, that is compensated by the satisfaction and joy of doing something that we really like. So maybe you tried to be an engineer but didn't work out, but you really enjoy acting or painting or whatever. Then make your career about your life's purpose, or your purpose could be that you want to make social impact. Now, why this is important is that whatever choice, if career is just about money, your sacrifice is satisfaction. If career is just about purpose and satisfaction, you might sacrifice money. The time has come to make these choices. The time has come to set aside all the belief systems that you have been programmed to think about so far. Just sit with yourself. Sit with yourself as if you are not any student, you are not anyone's son or daughter, you are just you. And you have to lead the next 30, 40 years of your life. And what do you want to give? What do you want to define career as? Because that decision will impact your choices, and it will give you the strength and the resilience to then accept the consequences of those choices. I'll give you another example on this. There is a prediction that in the next 10 years, or 15 years, a concept called universal basic income will have to be introduced. What that means is, because job opportunity will not be available for everyone, purely because of the numbers, population demand versus supply, a part of population will have to be given a basic income so that they can survive, and it will be given to them for free, as duty of government, and it's being experimented globally. Now it means is somebody is taking care of your food, clothing, shelter, healthcare. What do? You can't just sit all day. Imagine you're eating, you're getting your shelter, you're being taken care of, but you have nothing to do. That scenario also can happen, and it might happen in your lifetimes. So you need to really redefine and reimagine what career means to you. Because if you are just going to go with the flow, then as I started my talk with, the flow is no longer the journey that you were promised it is going to be. The world of work is uncertain. It is nobody knows what's going to happen, and therefore your biggest asset will be only your intelligence and the plan that you make for yourself. Thank you.